Matt Hardy. Thank you for watching the Gimme a Whole Year Wrestling Podcast.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to the Gimme a Whole Year Wrestling Podcast. My name is Ant and today I'm going to be reviewing the Raw show from the 31st of August 2020. Wow, was that a long show to sit through. There were one or two okay moments in it, a decent main event. The rest of the Raw was terrible, man. Like, not just like not fun to watch, just boring. Really, really stupid booking. And you can tell that someone's sitting backstage thinking that this is good, and it's not. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. After Payback last night, where we sort of had this idea that something great is going to happen, that this is a new change, a new direction for WWE, and then we have this, and it's poor, and it did nothing. Hello to everyone in chat. Hello, Jack, Alex, Kobe. Nice to see you, Kobe. Your review was short but sweet. I've already watched it. And before I actually filmed this review on private, I was just talking to myself. I was like, some people normally come and say hello. What's going on here? YouTube mistake. Thank you so much for joining us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the review, let you know what I thought of Raw in its total, and then open the questions up to you guys. So write them down. Let us know what you thought of Raw as we go through. But it's been awesome having everyone on chat actually tonight. It was a right laugh on our watch along. So thank you for that. Raw opens up with a graphic remembering Bullet Bob Armstrong, which is great. Randy Orton gets into the ring, gives a promo about Drew McIntyre, Keith Lee. Very generic, man. Very generic. Keith Lee comes out. He hasn't got new music. He's not wearing a dress, so that's good. He comes out, confronts Randy. Before much can get said, Dolph Ziggler comes out and attacks Keith Lee, which is setting up for the main event of tonight. So they're going to have a triple threat match to determine who's facing Drew at Night of Champions. And so we get Dolph Ziggler and Keith Lee, and we know who's going to win this. However, it's a really entertaining match. Dolph is not overselling. He's not sort of the Goldberg SummerSlam selling. He's really... It feels competitive, but in a good way. Dolph and Keith Lee did a wonderful job here, and it was the most entertaining match of the night by far until the last sort of match, which was fun, really fun. But this was great. I mean, it really give us as an audience another chance to see Keith Lee on Raw and what they're going to do with him. And you know, I joked so much about Ziggler and Keith Lee not being something I wanted to say. Actually, it was really good. This was a lot better than sort of Shinsuke and Ziggler and Bobby Roode Ziggler. So good for him. It was good. That's part of this triple qualifier match. So Keith Lee wins with a spirit bomb. Of course. He also kicked out of a zigzag, which was good. Cool. After the match, we get Nia Jax and Shayna Basler backstage. They've got the women's tag team champions in a story that was built out of nowhere, and they're still doing the arguing thing. Like, I get it. We've had that sort of I'm the champion thing quite a lot in the past with tag teams, and I hope that they go somewhere slightly different with it, and they do sort of they actually come together, you know, as a team. I think that could be kind of interesting. Asuka comes out, and basically she hasn't got a competitor anymore. No one cares about Asuka, and they both put themselves forward and then go off fighting about who's going to. Asuka then backstage we get the Adam Pearce backstage. Last week he was told by Vince McMahon to get the autograph of Bray Wyatt. Went to the funhouse and got his autograph. Basically talked down to him a lot, give him a silly postman outfit to wear. Great. This week he's talking down to security. Watch out for retribution around the corner. It's going to be great. You won't believe the retribution, the people that were interfering during the Fiend and Braun Strowman showdown and Drew McIntyre's promos are now where they're show up in Raw. Fun. I'll get to that. Asuka goes to the ring. She's looking for a challenger, basically, and Mickie James comes out. Quite interesting, right? Mickie James and Asuka, I can see that being a decent match that I'd want to see. So if that's the way they're going, which I presume they are, good. But then Lana and Natalya come out, Again, no sort of cohesiveness with their gimmicks. Like, they've got this interesting, weird gimmick that I don't like them both as wrestlers. And so this weird heel thing that they're doing was actually really interesting to me. And they're not doing it. It's just weird. Lana goes into a match with Mickie James. Mickie James beat Lana. There was nothing to this match whatsoever. It was real filler. Asuka was on commentary and they forgot to sign a mic on. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Next up, we get the Conor Cure announcement. They're doing this that time of year where they spotlight Conor Cure, which is great. Love seeing WWE go and help charities. We get a little bit of a feedback on a little bit of a recap on Hurt Business last week in Raw Underground. Cedric Alexander is backstage with the Viking Raiders. Demi Burnett comes up. Can we get her off TV? There was a chance to do it tonight in the comedy section with Retribution, and they didn't do it, but I'll get into that later. She spots all three of them, the Viking Raiders, Cedric. Angel Garza comes out with a rose, smiling as she walks away. Get rid. Don't need this on TV. She should be a wrestler. Billie Kay could be in that position, and it'd be fine. It'd be story. But it's not, unfortunately. Then we see backstage that Aleister Black is his room. Charlie Caruso stood outside it. Randy Orton pops outside it. He's obviously knocked on the door. Part of me really wanted Charlie Caruso to knock on the door and just black mass. Didn't happen. Should have happened. Would have been fun. Could have been entertaining. Do that, WWE. Think about it. Entertainment is part of what you need to do. If you haven't guessed it, all of what I've said was rubbish apart from the Keith Lee and Dolph Ziggler match. Let's get into some more rubbish. The Iconics and Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. The Riot Squad. Because WWE were trying to do something different with Liv Morgan and went, nope, don't know what to do here. What we'll do is we'll give you Ruby Riott's gimmick because that's the only thing that seems to work. Okay, cool. So oh my word. Next up, we have the Randy Orton's versus Kevin Owens match, which doesn't happen because Aleister Black comes out. Black masses Kevin Owens, which sort of makes sense story-wise, but we could have had a good match here. It didn't happen. Good. RKO to Kevin Owens. Done. Next up, this is rubbish. After the match, Charlie Caruso interviews Rey Mysterio backstage. He's brought his daughter along, Aaliyah. She's pretty. Wears a jumper. Whatever. Same rubbish. Dom Cap got a promo. Ray talks about how he was supposed to have the match with Seth, but he's injured his arm, so he can't do it. Would have preferred to have seen that, to be perfectly honest. We then go to the VIP lounge because the Hurt Business, they've won. Bobby Lashley now has the US Championship. Great. Basically, this leads to a match. Cedric Alexander interrupts them, and Cedric Alexander comes out with the Viking Raiders. The Viking Raiders, because that makes sense as a team. There's been no build to them being with the Viking Raiders. I believe Ricochet and Apollo Crews would have made a lot more sense within the confines of the match, but sense isn't something that WWE like to do. So we get a 6-man tag. This was terrible. Absolutely awful. It involved the Hurt Business destroying Cedric Alexander for a long time. Whatever. Fine. And then Cedric goes to pin MVP. He gets the pin on MVP, and MVP celebrates because it was their plan all along to let Cedric Alexander win so that he'll want to join the Hurt Business. This was the most extended finger poke of doom rubbish I've ever seen. It made no sense. And just to top it off, the sort of icing on the cake, is we go backstage later, and the Hurt Business are beating the living daylights out of Cedric Alexander. What's the Hurt Business objective here? Why did they beat him up and then let him pin him? It makes no sense. It all makes no sense whatsoever. Next up, right, this match, the Iconics versus the Riot Squad. The losers must disband. Why? Because we can't be bothered to tell a story. I've got a story. You have some dissension between the Iconics, and you have dissension between the Riot Squad, and they put everything on the line at a big match that means something, as opposed to announcing at the start of Raw, one of these tag teams is going to break up. It's not storytelling. and it's a disservice to either the Riot Squad or the Iconics or whoever would win. In the end, it'd be the Iconics that lose in a pretty poor match. It makes no sense. It doesn't deliver the story beats that it needs to, and it's a disservice to the Iconics, who, you know, they're all right, they're fun. Then they're crying in the ring. You could tell they were going to lose because Billie Kay was obviously upset she was being taken away from a friend. We're holding hands at the start of the match. This is our last match together. Hopefully Billie Kay will be a manager for Ruby. Not Ruby. Jeez Louise. A manager for Peyton. Something like that. Cool. Whatever. Move on. Rubbish. God, this was a really long Raw. Triple threat qualifying match next. Seth Rollins versus Dominic. It was okay. There was Dominic doing... It seems like... Oh, no. Actually, no. Seth Rollins come out first with Buddy Murphy. Tells him off for last night. You lost, you plonker. Tells him off. Get backstage. Clear off. You're not one of my disciples. You're rubbish. Really like this. Really like the promo from Seth Rollins. He felt really impassioned during it. But it's also, it feels a lot like the sort of Virgil $1 Million Man story, which is a great story, man. And it feels like Buddy Murphy's, here's the only problem. It's a great story. And what you can do is you can build it up over a year, right? Of Buddy Murphy still trying to win Seth Rollins' affection. Don't kiss him. But it's like instead what they do is they are probably going to really rush it because Seth Rollins is going to be having a baby in November with Becky Lynch, so it's probably going to all play off. But the idea of Buddy Murphy overthrowing Seth is actually really interesting, and I thought both of them look great in this promo, man. Great. Then we get the Dominic and Rollins match, the match that we've seen 4 times in the last 2 weeks. It's the sort of same stuff, man. I mean, Dominic's... I didn't like the SummerSlam match because it was filled with all this gunk that didn't need to be there. And I feel like we saw the wrestling a lot better tonight and even at Payback. But it's still the same stuff. It was still exactly the same spots. It was head scissors takedown into the corner, stand him up, then go into the DDT that Seth sells exactly like Buddy Murphy did last night. You know, it's just... It's fine, but I don't think it's doing anything for Dominic. Anyway, Rollins ends up winning. He delivered the stomp, which was nice to see. Good. Let's go. What was next? Dominic's mum was crying backstage. Boo, bloody who? Shayna O'Mac. Raw Underground. You're going to see Titus O'Neil as you've never seen him before in a ballerina dress. Would have been more interesting if that actually did happen. It didn't happen, unfortunately. But what did happen was Titus was there squashing a couple of people. The problem with Raw Underground is sometimes the fists look really good. Sometimes they look really rubbish. And it's just not working with the rest of the programming. It's not working. Riddick Moss comes in. They have a bit of a tussle. Moss wins. Cheating. Low blow. And then a punch. It was quite a nice sounding punch, actually. Whatever. Street Profits backstage getting hyped. I want the smoke. Shut up. Can you please leave that gimmick with Water Rush? Go. Get rid. They're having a tornado tag match with Andrade and Angelo Dawkins in a shocking twist that no one saw coming. We get that match again and again and again. Then we see Akira Tozawa backstage. Got the 24/7 championship. Ninjas all in a car. Get out. Referee. R-Truth wins the title. This could have been actually quite funny if they'd all like come in horses or something, but it was just weird. It's just weird. Wrestling is weird enough. WWE, this is just rubbish. It's rubbish. You cannot tell me that anybody is going to be talking about this segment. Apart from me here, just saying it was a waste of time. Then we get the Tornado Tag Team match. Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza. Cups come down from because Young Bucks do money, so cups. Whoa, yeah, rubbish match. Nothing happened in it. Ford tries to get a little bit of a comeback at one point, but it ends up in Retribution attacking before anything can start getting interesting. What really annoyed me in this match, man, what really annoyed me in this match. Right, so it's a tornado tag, right? Andrade's stretching, I think it was Angelo Dawkins, stretching him on the side. And instead of Angel Garza like doing something to help or assisting or tickling him or stretching him or punching him in the side, because tornado is just sort of watching and laughing. It's just weird. The stipulation doesn't work when you don't have the two people beating down the person. That's why when two people stomping works. It was set up. It told the wrong story. You guys are going crazy in chat. Sorry, I hope you agree with everything I say or not, or whatever. We'll see. I've just hated this. I hated it. Yeah. Oh, Retribution come out. Yay. Kiddies come out. Oh my god, it's Retribution, because the lights went down a little bit, flickered. Woo. Chase everyone off stage. I don't like the whole surrounding a woman with three masked people. We can't tell the gender. I didn't like it before on Raw when they did it to that bird on the outside. I didn't like it with Zelina Vega. I know that it's all women and that's WWE's thing, but you can't tell because they're masked and for the most part genderless. And when so much is happening, it just feels creepy and wrong and sick and don't need to see it WWE. Thank you. Then they all run off because the naughty school kids have interrupted in their big moment and go off. Don't worry, we'll get to see them later. Raw Underground's next, hyping up Jessamine Duke, who's in the ring. She goes to the enhancement talent, gets a win, whatever. Then out comes a woman in a safari outfit. She has a hat. She has a picnic blanket that she's wearing around her waist. And she really did look like a safari sort of woman. And it's actually Jessamine Duke. No, is it Jessamine Duke? No, it was the other bird. Marina Shafir. She looked terrible, man. And she wrestled someone in it. And it looked goofy as all hell. It looked like 90s WWE with a safari person gimmick fighting the dude that takes out the trash. It was rubbish. Then, because we haven't seen enough, Cedric Alexander, Apollo Crews, Ricochet. Oh, the team that made sense, not with the Viking Raiders. But they didn't have a place for the Viking Raiders, so they had to get them on somehow, and they decided that was the rubbish to do. Anyway, they all need to get the fix, so they're going to Raw Underground. And they go to Raw Underground and fight the Hurt Business. And although, obviously, Cedric took a beating earlier on and had sort of a comeback and some wrestling and that sort of thing, they had a few seconds match. Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP all ended up choking all three of them in the ring. It's not working, man. It don't work with a wrestling program. It's completely separate. I'm watching these athletes go for a certain amount of time, and then I'm watching this quick fight, and it's just... Let me know how you feel about Underground, but for me, it ain't clicking, brother. It ain't clicking. Back from Raw. Oh, I'm sorry this is going on way too long, but that's how Raw felt tonight. I'm so sorry. God, you must be so bored watching me talk about this crap. What's next? That's rubbish. Sorry, I'm just checking my notes. There was the Angel Garza backstage segment. I was just trying to think because there was something before the main event, right? Angel Garza's backstage, Demi Burnett. The ninjas, like one of the ninjas, it was Retribution, come up. He runs off, leaves Demi Burnett by herself, and then she runs off after him because Retribution are there and they're scary and they don't run, they just walk. That's right. That was Retribution's first intended comedy section. Next week they will be facing the Ninjas. We can't wait for that. Rubbish. Triple Threat number 1 contenders match: Randy Orton versus Keith Lee versus Seth Rollins. What a good match. They're all having fun. The story at the start was unique. It had Seth Rollins trying to team up with Randy Orton, but they're still falling out a bit. But eventually they do. They really sort of attack Keith Lee on the outside of the ring. Really good. Lee was selling it really well. As Rollins gets back into the ring, draping DDT that Randy Orton pulls, tries to get the pin there, doesn't work. Keith Lee then gets the comeback as well. So he comes back in. Really good stuff. And the ending was really fun. So Keith Lee delivered a spirit bomb onto Seth Rollins, which is great. Then Randy Orton comes in and RKO's Keith Lee. But instead of going for the pin on Keith Lee, uses the stronger finisher, maybe. That's a spirit bomb or what have you. But it's really fun the way he did it. He RKO's Keith Lee, like does this roll over Keith Lee and sort of lands on Seth Rollins, but his body weight's like gone a bit far, so he's just like hovering. He was just having a good time. This is Randy Orton's doing some great work at the minute, and this was great. This was a lot of fun. It felt like a match that wasn't just the three of them doing their stuff to each other. It actually felt like it had story, meaning. Some people might leave Raw going that was an okay Raw after that, but I'm not going to, because that was terrible. I wasted hours and hours of my life to get to one good match at the end. Thank you, WWE. And after Payback had so much potential, that was just rubbish. The Iconics are no more. Oh yeah, there was a bit where Peyton Royce throws Billie Kay into Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke. I don't know why she did that. And then she was sort of laughing. It's like, are you keeping the same gimmick, or are you upset? Or because you was nearly crying in the ring earlier, but you weren't crying like comedy crying. You seemed upset. Right, so my Raw rating for this week, if 2 was a decent Raw, this was a 1.5. The first match and the last match were decent. Last match was the best, and Randy Orton was the performer of the night. Hope that sort of answers it all for you. I'm going to be reading all your comments. Keep them coming, and I will read them out for a good few minutes. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. There's got 6 people watching. That's really kind of you. Sorry that it's gone on, but, Raw went on, so forgive me. Right, I'm going to have a sip of tea. See, comment on live stream. Hello. I like what they're doing with Keith Lee now, says Alex. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I do appreciate it. I like what they're doing with Keith Lee. Now we might get Seth versus Lee. Yeah, coming out of that match, that'd make a lot of sense. And actually, yeah, but I said that last week. I didn't mind the position they were putting Keith Lee in, because it's putting him with the top guy in the company. And actually, I said, putting him against Dolph Ziggler would be a discredit to him. And they both made it work really well tonight, so good for them. Jack says, mid-fire by Vince. Indeed it was. It was premature fire by Vince tonight. Asuka versus Mickie James. Now, I can't wait for that. That's a pay-per-view match, says Kobe. It is. The problem is we've got a few weeks of her getting through Lana and then Natalya next week, and that's going to be just as boring as tonight. But yeah, Asuka and Mickie James. I'm quite excited for that. Feels fresh. Can believe it. Good. They'll do the whole story of it'll be Mickie James' last chance to get a title as well. So, but I'm fine with it. I think that's fun. Yeah, I'm actually surprised they're actually giving Mickie a title match. I am, but it's good. Adam Pearce gets more camera time and character development than Natalya, Tamina, and other wrestlers. That's correct, and it's all to sell the Retribution. Maybe they just need to have like a half-hour like talk show or something where they just sit and like let these characters develop, as opposed to just rubbish. I'm surprised Adam Pearce has a name. He does, and you're going to remember his name because Vince told him he was in a segment with Vince. He was the last person to have a segment with Vince. Why is Demi still here? I don't know. Sorry, Alex. Are we going to get a singles match between Garza and Ivar Hansen? I think that is. Maybe a Demi on a pole match. Or a semi on a pole match. Yeah. I don't care. It's rubbish. If it involved a wrestler, Liv Morgan, man, she was doing now and they couldn't figure out what to do with her. Put her in that position. It's fine. Have the guys wooing over her. At least then you've got potential with Bianca Belair and Zelina Vega, and it's sort of interjected a wrestler into that situation as opposed to the Bachelor winner. I don't know her. Maybe it draws people. Doesn't draw me. Demi on a forklift. They also need more women tag teams. Yeah, they've just broke up one of the sort of staples of the women tag division in the Iconics. I like how MVP stopped him from attacking him and then they attack him backstage after the match. Yeah, you don't like that, do you, Alex? You think it's just as rubbish as me. It was so WCW. Dude, finger poke with Doom, but extended. This is just crap. They only have 3 teams now: Riot Squad, Nia and Shayna, and soon to be split Sasha and Bayley. And Nia and Shayna aren't getting on. Yeah. You know what I want to see, Kobe? I really want to see them give it to. I really wanted them to give him the tag titles to Ginny and Nina Samuels from NXT UK. Like, it's supposed to be across all brands. They feel like a really good tag team, and I think Nina could learn a lot working with Ginny a lot more, because I think Ginny's outstanding. And I think the two would combine really well. Like, should have done that and then have them come across and have a main roster match and lose it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But it would have really made that sort of tag titles can go anywhere actually mean something, because it hasn't really meant out since we've only seen them on Raw and SmackDown. The women's tag division is very lacking, indeed it is. Nice finish where they both kick out of roll-ups and then Billy gets rolled up after kicking out of a roll-up and then Ruby pins her. Yes. It was an okay finish. That match didn't offend me as much. It was more the stipulation of the match that I thought was just blew it for me straight away. I like how Dom hit Murphy while he was going up the stage. So unnecessary, but a nice way to book a babyface. Yeah, man. I mean, it is. But I really like that Murphy segment. I thought it was great. Titus World 2-2. Should be. Blood slide. Nice how Titus gets build up, yeah. And then gets beaten by Riddick Moss, yeah. What is WWE's obsession with Riddick Moss? To have him beat Ricochet for the 24/7 title. He beat Ali on main event, and now this. Yeah, and I feel like WWE Underground is becoming that, Alex. It's sort of becoming more and more like the 24/7 championship. It doesn't really matter. It's just rubbish. It's just rubbish segments. Get excited. It's nearly 10 o'clock. Kobe talks about wrestling. It says Andrade Garza versus Street Profits. Wow, what a new, fresh, creative idea. Welcome to WWE, Kobe. It's terrible, isn't it? It's terrible. R-Truth now has more 24/7 reigns than Raven has hardcore reigns. Cool, man. Cool. Nice fact there. I mean, I don't mind the 24/7 if it's going to be an entertaining segment, but make it funny. Not have it Akira Tozawa driving in a car. Put them on horses, man. Have them all come down and need a parking spot for the horses. That would have been visually funny. More funny than this. I think. Whatever. I think Andrade might be the one turning face. He would be a great face. He's such a good wrestler. One of my favourites. He was facing NXT for quite a while. I think it was quite hard for Andrade when he first got into NXT, because he sort of had this... He was wrestling for the first time without a mask, because he was always sort of a luchador when he was wrestling in Mexico. And a good-looking fella. So the face, he never really worked as a face for me in the past. However, I agree. I think he could be a great face now. I think he could. I think that'd be interesting. I like you thinking. And we need a few more faces. Anyone else see a lack of faces on the roster? Yeah. I mean, they're doing it with Big E, I suppose. That's good. But yeah, I think we need more faces. Especially on Raw. Lights go off. Can I have your attention, please? Who's this? The Miz. Sorry, I don't know what you mean, Jack. Do you think Ray and Dom's next big thing will be teaming up and going in the tag division and maybe go against the Street Profits? I mean, if you're considering that the next big thing, yeah, fine. No, it's not going to be Ray and Dom. I don't think Ray will be around for a feud with the Street Profits, to be honest. I think Ray's looking at backing off. Dom should be in NXT, man. He should be in NXT, just learning his craft a little bit. That's what he needs, just more matches, more time. But the problem is they're putting him in these big, high-profile matches, and he's doing the same shtick all the time. And people will see through that eventually. Seriously. Maybe Retribution can be the ones to beat the Street Profits. Yeah, I mean, it sounds naff, so let's do it. The tag division's rubbish. Retribution, so maybe Dijakovic and Shane Thorne. Yeah, maybe you could do something like that. Do you think we're going to see Nia versus Shayna versus Asuka for the Women's Championship maybe after Clash of Champions? Yeah, that sort of makes sense, doesn't it? The tag team. But again, I don't want to see Nia and Shayna. I don't want them to do the breakup tag team storyline because we've had that for months with Shayna and Bailey, and they're not going to do it better than them. No chance. So why not do the tag team that come together as opposed to the tag team that are at each other's throats? I think that'd be far more interesting and something I'd be more interested to see. Maybe, but they'll run with the Nia Shayna team for a while, yeah. My official rating before this review was a 7.5, but I'll downgrade to 6.5. I'm glad that I've helped ruin your night, Alex. Sorry, mate. It was just rubbish apart from the main event, which was really good, really entertaining. The Keith Lee Dolph match. We didn't even see Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, which could have been really entertaining. The Dominic Seth match was okay. It was okay. It was the same as we've seen the last few days, though. It's getting a bit like Street Profits and Andrade. Waste of time, really. We all knew that Orton was winning. You say that. A couple of people in the chat as we was watching it, Kobe, thought it was going to be Lee. But I couldn't see how it'd be Lee because it's Drew. You know what I mean? I hope they start some fresh new storylines and matches next week. Kobe, we could say that every week, my friend. Every week. I need to talk to you actually at some point. Do you think Xavier Woods will? And by the way, after you check out this review, go check out Kobe because he's done like a 3-minute review that just says how I sort of it's the same as me really. Do you think Xavier Woods will get the same push as Big E or Kofi? I think he's very underrated and charismatic. I think he could do some great things with the IC title and maybe win the Money in the Bank. It'd be quite good, wouldn't it? I think. Yeah, he is charismatic. He's an underrated wrestler. Yeah, I mean, it sort of depends where Big E's push goes to, really. If you have the same sort of Kofi Mania, then you can do a story with why am I the one that hasn't had this? And Xavier actually has got some really good acting skills at playing like emotional. Like when he was with the Wyatts and the New Day were fighting the Wyatts like years ago, he did some really good like fear, like selling and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd go for that, mate. I'd go for that. Do you think WWE is building Big E to beat Otis for the briefcase? Okay, that'd be good. Maybe have Heavy Machinery win the tag titles and the New Day beat them and Otis is mad and Big E can challenge Otis for the Money in the Bank. Dude, I mean, I'd go with that booking. Seriously. They need to get the briefcase off Otis, unfortunately, because there is no way he is a contender for Roman Reigns. And does it feel like the Heavy Machinery being the tag champs, would that be a waste of a briefcase? Disappointing, man. Disappointing. I think they thought Otis would be fun in this sort of no fan era. And then they've gone, oh no, we're not interested anymore. But wouldn't it be fun? Dom is just not ready. It just needs a bit more, just needs some time, man. But don't give me 4 matches in 2 weeks and expect me to say it's great when I've seen the same 4 matches 4 times with the other people doing different stories around him. Sorry. It's fine in the ring. It's okay. It's the same stuff though. Sold a punt today. Not punt. Stomp. Never seen him do that before. Different. Dom is just not ready. Shayna and Nia are the female version of Team Hell No. Yeah, in terms of story, but nowhere near as charismatic as the pair of them. If Keith Lee won, it's too early, in my opinion. You're right, dude. It is. It absolutely is. And people are talking about where Keith Lee is going to be, and it's the next big thing. And we always do this with every wrestler that comes up, and I hope he is. One of the things I said on the reactions, it was really fun. We had a nice few people chatting and stuff. Is I like Keith Lee, but I don't see him any better than Kevin Owens. So why is he going to be bigger than Kevin Owens? Do you know what I mean? Was Kevin Owens' NXT debut more impactful? Yeah. Is he a great wrestler? He's a big bloke, and that's comparing to Kevin Owens, maybe because of that. But when Kevin Owens had that natural moment where he became an instant face, and everyone wanted to see more from him, it just sort of disappeared, and wouldn't do it. Stupid. Sucks that Black got passed over for Money in the Bank. It is. Alistair Black with a title briefcase would have been interesting. Who else was in that match? Baron Corbin. Yeah, whatever. I mean, we could have done something there. He lost it a few years ago to Cena after he sent a tweet out to some serviceman saying something in kayfabe, and the serviceman got upset about it. Something like that. Yes. It is upsetting. Any more questions? Sucks that Owens has only got one world title run. I loved his Universal title run. Alex, I've loved his Universal title run, and the stuff with Jericho was outstanding, obviously. AJ was in that match. AJ was in the match. AJ could have done so much more with it. AJ was the guy you give it to, and whatever happens can work. The problem is Otis had a very specific way to a specific. He had to be in a very. There's only so many matches where Otis can cash and win and work. A lot of them matches involve crowd. We ain't got that. But it has to be something that works. It has to be a cowardly heel like Miz. Fiend could have worked. And I know that sounds stupid, but the Fiend could have worked if you had him as the ultimate good guy. But you needed to do a Fiend Otis feud first, which I don't know if people want to see out of the Fiend. The Swerve Show. Hello, mate. How are you doing? 100 million subs. Nice, dude. Good stuff, man. I've watched your stuff. It's all good. And is that a Chris Jericho light up jacket by your chair? Where, man? What can you see? No, man. It's my our lass's leggings. Is what that is. That's all we got. Thanks for joining this Swerve Show. That's awesome. Maybe the Otis experiment would have been better with fans. Yeah, they were doing it as a way. I think they had the gist right, but the execution's it's just done. It's not going to work with Roman as champion. It's just stupid. Can you imagine the guy coming down in like a boob tube that he wears and cashing in on Roman? It's not going to friggin' happen. And that's me done tonight. You guys have all been awesome. Thank you for staying up with me. It's 10:05. What have we got coming up in the week? Let me tell you what we've got coming up. We've got Tuesday. I've got NXT. I'm probably going to do that. Probably. Wednesday, AEW Dynamite. Thursday, I've got an interview with Viking Size Gamer, who's a great YouTuber who does a lot of 2K content, and he does a really good series on rebooting 2K and talks a lot about. Goes into depth and has some great sort of editing stuff on what he'd like to see in the future. And honestly, it's a really good series. So I've got an interview with him. Really fun on Thursday. Friday, I need to talk to Kobe about something. And Dom. And we'll do a SmackDown Live. Why not? Why not, eh? And then Saturday, baby. It's all out. Doing all out with the Wrestle Story. Iron Match is going to be crazy. Are you going to come and watch it with me, Alex, if I do it? I don't want to be sat here watching an hour-long match by myself. It should be good. I'm worried about them all being heels, though, man. Worried about them all being heels. If you... when is All Out was on Saturday, dude. It's going to be great. All Out is going to be the best wrestling to watch this week, for sure. For sure. Looking forward to Dynamite to see how they set up a few things, actually. That's it. Alex, let me know if you're going to be there. Do you want to do the Claymore thing, or can I just disappear? Yo, Rose Montana, the show's finished, but thanks very much for coming by and saying hello. I do appreciate it. Yeah. The Destroyer, why is everyone joining now? Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. I am the Destroyer, BHB, PPT time. I don't know what that means, dude. Does All Out have 2 parts? No, it's just going to be 1 part this year. So if you're talking about the All Out that they did on YouTube, they did the YouTube show in 2 parts, and it was basically as a way of having some wrestling on Wednesday because they couldn't do it because of the NBA. The Daily Dan blog. The Swerve Show rules. Go there now. Indeed. Everyone should go and say hello to The Swerve Show or our friends of Wrestle Story. Kobe Talks About Wrestling has also just done his review. So go and watch it. PP time. Okay. And on that note, I think I'm going for a PP. But thank you everyone so much for joining, and don't forget to check out the stuff in the next few days. The Viking Size Gamer interview is really worth checking out. So, you want a Claymore countdown? Okay, rock and roll. So you like a Claymore? I'm going to count down. Make sure you whisper "Hull yeah" in your partner's ear. No, dude, I've got a better one. So after 5, we're all going to say "Hull yeah" together, because that's what we do in here, apparently, when Dom's here, and he's the gimmick. So count down from 5, and then there we go. There we go, PP time. And the Swerve Show's on, so go watch the Swerve Show. Do a countdown from 5, and then everyone say "Hull yeah, Hull yeah, Hull yeah," or sing it. Maybe you could sing it. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Thanks for joining us, dude. Take it easy. And that's the wrong button because I'm on the wrong screen. Oh, this is Matt Hardy.
This is Broken Matt Hardy. Thank you for watching the Gimme a Whole Yeah Wrestling Podcast.